guys, Grizzly Risley here. I know some of you are a little worried about these exponent rules, so I wanted to make an extra review video. This is covering page 16, 17, and 18, I think, out of the packet. So I'm just going to run through a couple problems from each type. So target 7a is I can use the product of powers, power to a power, power of a product properties to simplify. So these are generally the easy ones where, for example, the base stays the same, but power to a power you multiply. Okay, number 2, same thing. Base stays the same, but power to a power you multiply. And then the other rule is when you are multiplying same bases, the base stays the same, but you add the powers. And I'll do one more of those. If you're multiplying same bases, the base stays the same, but you add. So if I put a little 1 here, 2 plus 1 is 3. Okay, so those are the easy ones. And then learning target 7b is I can use the quotient properties to simplify exponents. And if you guys remember, the quotient property says if you're dividing same bases, the base stays the same and you subtract. So it's 6 to the 6. I'll do one more of those. Number 10. If you're dividing same bases, the base stays the same and you subtract. 7 minus 2 is 5. So these are also very easy. And the only other rule in this section is if you have a fraction to a power, make sure you distribute the power to the numerator and the denominator. So this would be x cubed over y cubed. And one more of those, number 12. Make sure you give the numerator and the denominator the power, so it's 3 to the 5th over 4 to the 5th. And because it's only numbers, we do not calculate it. We just leave it like that. All right, now 7c is I can use the zero property and negative exponent property. So let's take a look at those. So the easy one is anything to the 0 power is always 1. Okay, we don't have to do another one of those. Now let's talk about negative exponents. If your exponent's negative, you drop it like it's hot. So this would be 1 over 10 to the 3rd. And we're not going to calculate it because it's only numbers. But 17, if it's negative on the bottom, then you bring it to the top. So this one would be 3x to the positive 2. Okay, so that's the negative exponents and the 0 rule. What about one like number 20? So if it's negative on the bottom, then you bring it to the top. If it's negative on the bottom, then you bring it to the top. Everything else stays put. So the 1 can stay, the x3 will come up, the y7 will come up, and then this 3 that was just there, just chilling, he stays on the bottom. Okay, so that's negatives and 0 property. And then 7d is when we just combine them all. So all properties combined. And this is probably the harder section, but let's do some of these. All right, so to start, let's do one of these where if they're not connected, you just draw a big fraction bar to connect them. And this is like saying 3 to the 8 over 3 squared. And then it just becomes the quotient property, where if you have the same base, the base stays the same and you subtract. So that one's just 3 to the 6. All right, let's try one a little harder. Let's try 29. Okay, so this is a distributing. If you do a negative to the third power, it stays negative. All right, then we have to do 6 to the third power. And then on bottom, we have to do z to the third power. And then because it's a combination of numbers and variables, we want you to calculate it. So what is 6 to the third power? (216). So the answer is negative 216 over z cubed. All right, let's try another one like that. 31. So 31, we're going to distribute. A gets the 4, and the 2 gets the 4, and the B gets the 4. So we got to give every single piece the fourth power. So for exponents, power to a power you multiply, so it's A12. On bottom, the 2 is a normal number. So 2 to the fourth power is 16. And then for the B, it's an exponent, power to a power you multiply, so B20. So that's that one. All right, let's try one like 33. The 2 gets the power and the B gets the power. So it's 2 negative 5 times B negative 5. But if your exponent's negative, you drop it like it's hot. So it's going to be 1 over 2 to the positive 5, b to the positive 5. But because it's a combination of numbers and variables, we do want you to calculate what you can. So 2 to the fifth power, I think, is 32. So this is 1 over 32 b to the fifth. And then one more on this page, 35. This is a combination of a couple rules. On top, if you're multiplying same bases, the base stays the same and you add the exponents. But then when we do the denominator, if you're dividing same bases, the base stays the same but you subtract. So this is a combo problem. Answer is 12 to the fourth. All right, on to the last page. And you do not have to worry about ones like these. Let's try one like 38. All right, so let's get a little distributing going. 3 to the fourth and m7 to the fourth. All right, 3 to the fourth is a normal number. So what is 3 to the fourth power? That's 81. So we're on 81m. Power to a power you multiply, so 28. And then we also are going to keep the m3. Okay, but now, what happens when you are multiplying same bases? You add. So it's 81m31. Okay, so they're really not that bad. We might as well finish off one more. Let's do 43. All right, so distribute and distribute and distribute and distribute. Okay, so 3 to the fourth power we just said was 81. For the x, power to a power you multiply, so 28. And then on bottom, same thing. 2 to the fourth power is 16. And then y, power to a power you multiply, so y 48. Okay, I'm going to post the rest of the answers on Classroom. So if you guys want to do any more and check, the quiz will be very similar to this. Thanks for watching.